Hello, guys. How are you doing? So glad to be back for the second video that I have prepared for today. As you guys must have heard already, the Invictus CEO has resigned, and as always, as always, when it has to do with anything related to Harry and Meghan, the British media are going wild, poking holes in the information, looking and trying to spin conspiracy theories, um, and looking for sensational reasons why he might have resigned. But before we get into the nitty gritty of this story, let me give you a quick rundown of exactly who the Invictus CEO is and why his resignation is causing such a stir at the moment. So, guys, I'm sure you can see him on this photograph. He is the person by the left of Meghan, depending on where you're standing. But of course, we all know who Prince Harry is. So we know that the man wearing the red tie in the photograph is Dominic Reid. Dominic Reed has been the right-hand man of Prince Harry since the inception of the Invictus Games in 2014. His leadership has been absolutely pivotal in transforming the games into a globally recognized movement. He was the one who did everything he could to ensure that the Invictus Games inculcated what they refer to as the family atmosphere. He did that, and it has been such a magnificent success because of the initiatives he brought into the organization of the games. Okay? So, if you're just joining us, welcome to Isabella Bank's YouTube channel where we discuss all things Harry and Meghan and their level up journey. If you're new here, I'm Wizzy, and it is absolutely fantastic to meet you virtually. So, how has your week been so far? And let me say hello to one or two people in the chat, and then we'll dive into today's story. Hi, Rosalind. Hi, Gwen Daniels. So thankful that you were able to join me this evening. I promise I'm not going to keep you long, since this is my second video for the day. So, guys, as I love to do, let's continue. Okay, I really intend to make sure that I keep to my promise of not keeping you on here for too long this evening. I went down the rabbit hole of finding out who Dominic Reed is, and from all intents and purposes, I found his LinkedIn page where he proudly declares that he is the CEO of the Invictus Games Foundation, Pageant Masters, London Mayor's Show, and he talks about it for Mentor LLP. So, guys, in case you haven't noticed or nobody else has mentioned it, which I sincerely doubt, I'm sure that a lot of people have also recognized the significance of the three letters beside his name. He's got OBE beside his name. To me, that explains it all in entirety. But for clarity, we will walk through all the available evidence so that we can understand exactly what has happened here. Lily Bell Grant, you said what? Invictus Foundation have announced that the games for 2027 will be in Birmingham. Are you sure? Oh my God, I have not seen that. This is breaking news. Just a second. Just 1 second. Let me go find out. Just 1 second. Let us see. 10 minutes. It is true. Birmingham. Oh my God. Ooh. I told you guys. told you guys, and I told you guys, I keep having people arguing with me about the power and influence of the royal family, and this is an indication of it. This is an indication. If there was ever a time that we needed to come together to push a robust defense to ensure that Harry and Meghan uh, s- get through this unscathed, it is now. And to make sure that Invictus Games doesn't get taken away from Harry and Meghan, this is the time. Thank you for dropping that information in the chat. I would not have known about it otherwise. We have had I'm just reading from the Invictus Games Twitter page, and it says the Invictus Games Foundation is delighted to announce the host city of the Invictus Games 2027 will be Birmingham, UK. The result was announced today at an unveiling event with Invictus Games Foundation CEO Dominic Reid, Defense Veterans Minister Al Khans, and the Invictus Game Bid 2027 CEO Helen Halliwell at the National Exhibition Centre, Birmingham. Competing against bids from 6 cities around the world, Birmingham won the bid through its strong commitment to the welfare and recovery of serving personnel and veterans. The Invictus Games will be held in July 2027, 2 years on from the upcoming Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025 taking place next year. Lord Allen, chair of the Invictus Games Foundation, said, "Congratulations to Birmingham. The trustees were very taken by the depth of passion in the bidding team, the experience they brought to the planning and preparations, and to the concept of the NEC as a one-site games. Our thanks go to the team behind the Washington, D.C. bid who were able to demonstrate the city would be a fantastic location for the future. As the foundation looks to the next 10 years, we are excited about the games pipeline we are building and for the next 10 years of Invictus. The Duke of Sussex, patron of the Invictus Game Foundation, said, "Congratulations to Birmingham, UK, on winning the bid to host the Invictus Games 2027. Your city's strong ties to the armed forces community made it a formidable contender from the very start. Over the years, we've seen each city bring a unique spirit and vision to life for competitors, their families, and spectators. We have no doubt the people of Birmingham will join in celebrating the unwavering respect and admiration we have for our veteran and service community, showing the world how their courage ignites hope and unites us all, something your city knows very well." Oh my God. Oh my God. Guys, we got to get it together. We got to get it together. We got to get it together. We have got to get it together. This is not even about Megan staying away. This is not even the thing. This is not even the issue. I'm I have really sorry to tell you, but uh, if necessary, Megan is going to have to be here. I plead with you. I urge you all, please. You guys for too long have seen things from the American perspective only. Please use me as part of your eyes. I am here in the UK as part to give you an additional perspective as to what is happening. I understand completely the danger that Harry and Meghan face. You need to trust them. We need to step up and do what is necessary. They are not going to be able to avoid certain things. Please, please, and please, I beg you in the name of all that you honor, please open your perspective up to see what the reality of the situation is. It's not going to do us any good to hide our heads in the sand, to pretend that the power of the monarchy does not exist, that they have no power and influence over what Harry and Meghan do. They do. What we need to do is to do what we can to build Harry and Meghan up, so that the influence the monarchy have over their lives, their day-to-day life, is reduced to the barest minimum. Please, I'm begging you, please. Um, Lily says the royal family and monarchy are desperate to get some of the Sussex stardust. It's not even about the stardust. It's about control over Harry and Meghan. It is the fact that Harry and Meghan defied them. They want to bring them to heel. That's what it's all about. Yeah. Uh, that place is absolutely dangerous for Meghan, Gwen, Daniel. You said that already. Birmingham can't afford the games. The city is in a is in the city is in a depression. Absolutely, they've been in a depression for a long time. If I'm not mistaken, they actually even went bankrupt at one point in time. But the thing is, it's not about Birmingham, is it? It's about getting Harry and Meghan here. You guys are still not understanding the size and the girth of the royal family. And I'm doing everything that I can to show you guys who and what they are. It's not even about Birmingham. It's not even about anything that they are talking about. It's about bringing Harry and Meghan back to the UK, not so that they can operate in the UK. It's so that they can bring them to heal. This is it. Harry and Meghan, Harry is literally written into the constitution the same way the royal family are. And by virtue of that fact, Meghan has a small percentage of duty to the royal family. Now, it is depending on how they decide to go about it, they can negotiate for certain things, but there's certain things Meghan is not going to be able to avoid. Harry and Meghan need to do is to make sure that they take care of themselves, boost their finances, boost their PR to the max. This is why I took an overview of everything that was going on, and I realized that since Harry and Meghan have done literally everything they're required to do when it comes to fighting against a smear campaign, the only way out is if they involve international bodies. United Nations is the only way. Mm, Megan, keep away from the UK. This is not even the point. It's not even the point. I'm sorry to dis. Are you Bonnie Mighty? Are you from the UK? Are you from the UK? Because it's not going to do us any good to close our eyes to the reality. Please, I'm begging you guys, if you're listening to me and not just listening to me for entertainment, but also information, then please, I have nothing to gain to big up the royal family. I have nothing to gain. They're obviously not paying me to big them up, whether I am obviously in defense of Harry and Meghan. But what I'm saying to you is assess your enemy properly and apply the correct strategies to protect yourself from them. This is all that I'm saying. Mm. Gwen Daniels, take it easy, please. Take it easy. Take it easy. Uh, I'm not going to read your comment because it just seems a bit aggressive, and I don't know whether that is for me, and I don't want it to be for me. All right, so I'm going to continue with what I was talking about today. But whoa, that is huge. That is massive. That is massive news. It changes a lot of things. The fact that they didn't easily drop the UK Invictus bid from selection immediately was an indication that this was going to happen, I think. And I think that John Mercer did a good job of infiltrating the governing body. The thing is that it's not just Harry that runs the Invictus Games. There is a governing body, and I'm going to actually discuss that as though I knew that this was going to come up this evening. All right, so just looking at Dominic Reed's profile, we could see that he proudly posts things about the Invictus Games on LinkedIn. What I found interesting was his relationship with David Wiseman, who posted a recommendation on his behalf on LinkedIn. So that means good relationship, although it was dated 2017. And what I found was quite interesting was the fact that he's interested in Rishi Sunak. That already made me think to myself, oh, because it's like contrary. It's like contrary, right? So how can you be working with Harry and Meghan, be sympathetic to their cause, and yet be supportive of the party that mainly protects the interests of the royal family? I found that to be a contradiction. So I thought to myself, okay, let's just give him the benefit of doubt, but it made me curious. It made me want to dig deeper. Um, And then I looked at the Invictus Games. I went to check their profile out on Wikipedia, and I saw, okay, their motto, the first event, then the governing body. Look at it. Foundation patron, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. Who is the chairman? The Lord Allen of Kensington. The fact that he's got someone who is the Lord of anything as the chairman of Invictus Games just tells me all that I need to know. If you are a lord, you are subject in the UK, you are subject to the king, you're subject to the royal family, the monarchy. This is what it is. It is the reality. To a certain extent, they try to give the illusion as though they operate under the principles of fairness, justice, and equality. But in the grand scheme of organizations that exist in the world, Invictus is still a very small organization that can be easily manipulated, as we have just seen. So then we see Chief Executive Dominic Reid, the trustees, Edward Lane, Melanie, blah, 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 JJ Chalmers. Okay. So that told me everything that I needed to know. Okay. And I could see this I could sit back and see the struggle that Harry is currently facing. I wish he had time. I think the most sensible thing for him to do would have been to gradually switch out all these people who are Lord something something or something something. All these people who have affiliations to the royal family should have been gradually switched out. And I think perhaps that's what the situation with Dominic Reed is supposed to be, because he needs to switch out from the Invictus Games people who have a duty to the king. If you've got an OBE or any kind of royal title, you have a duty to the king. Now, you can negotiate it, you can minimize the impact, but the fact remains the fact. You do have a duty to the monarchy. And a lot of people, whether you respect the monarchy, whether you like the monarchy, you cannot deny who the monarchy are, their power. It is to your disadvantage if you do that. Okay, it's to your disadvantage if you deny, if you do. It's one thing not to know, but it's another thing to know and then flick your finger at it and say, well, I don't care. Being stubborn about it is not the solution. The solution is to find a way to overcome and override what the monarchy bring to it. The royal family know that the one thing that Harry and Meghan have got going for them, which protects them from the long arms of the royal family, is the Invictus Games. And I'm very sorry to see that it is my fears are actually being actualized. They are trying to take the Invictus Games from Harry. Guys, as fans, we can't allow this to happen. But if we keep just talking and not doing anything about it, like taking active action against it, this is exactly what will happen. If you're new here, please go ahead to subscribe to the channel. If you're not new, you visited this channel before, please go ahead to subscribe. Let today be the day you decide to subscribe. For all those who have been rocking with me from the beginning, thank you. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section and also hit the like button. Okay, so let's discuss what led to Dominic Reed's resignation. I looked into Harry and Meghan's relationship, Harry and Dominic's public relationship over the years, and it looks like it was pretty good. He even had to defend Harry publicly when it was claimed that Harry was not the sole um, owner of the Invictus Games. And do you guys remember when he put out this statement where he said, there's a business of him. Okay, I'll read it from the beginning. Chief Executive Dominic Reid was there from the start and told me it's always been more than a patronage for Harry. It's a genuine passion, and he doesn't believe the split in the family has had any kind of negative impact. There's the business of him being in a different place, Mr. Reed said. So I see him face to face less regularly. We all do, but he does join all of our meetings and he does come to all of our events. So, no, I mean, it was always his patronage. It was not a royal patronage. It was not in the gift of the royal family. It's his thing, and we're delighted to have him as our patronage. That was when they were trying to claim that it wasn't Prince Harry's, that it was William, Kate, and Harry's, and that the funds for the Invictus Games came from the Royal Foundation. Jackie Williams says, how do you think they can take the IG from Harry? I suppose that, he's just the patron of the Invictus Games. He's just the patron. The governing body can vote him out. They can put processes in place to take him out of the Invictus Games. It is entirely possible. He is not on the governing body. He cannot be on the governing body, but they can take him out. It's not a private company. It is a charitable organization, and there are processes to take out a patron if need be. So Harry is kind of dependent on the loyalty of the people he put in the governing body to ensure that nothing disastrous happens. Look at it. He couldn't stop the Invictus Games from coming to Birmingham. I want you guys to think about it. Do you think that Harry would have wanted the Invictus Games to come to Birmingham? Do you think he would have wanted that? If he wanted to do it, certainly not now. I'm sure he would have been thinking maybe in 10 years' time, but he couldn't stop it. That's just to tell you guys why and what's the power dynamics is like at the moment. Please, I'm begging you guys, uh, let's face the reality of the situation, okay? So, what are the British media saying about all of this? So they have been talking left, right, and center, and there have been so many angles. So let's discuss some of them, some of the angles. Uh, Number one, they said Prince Harry's charity chief quits. They used the word quits. Duke thanks Dominic Reid for relentless service after 10 years working for Invictus Games. Okay, that's one of the stories from the Daily Mail. Another one from the Daily Mirror says Prince Harry's friend speaks out after bombshell Invictus Games resignation. Another one says Prince Harry's pal Dominic Reid quitting as Invictus Games CEO, right time. Another one says Prince Harry's key ally breaks silence after bombshell Invictus Games resignation. Mm. Um, okay, let me just finish with this segment of the podcast and then I will come back to your chat. Okay. So, this story is interesting because it says Prince Harry and Meghan are faced with a lose lose situation as the couple cannot win, as anything they do will get criticized, a royal commentator has claimed. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have long been at the center of discussions after they made a string of explosive claims about the royals following their sensational departure from the firm and move to the US in 2020. The latest blow came when Harry's nomination for the prestigious Pat Tillman Award for Service was met with a huge backlash worldwide. Harry ended up attending the award ceremony, but his appearance was not met with a standing ovation. And I thought, his appearance was not met with a standing ovation. What are you talking about? We all saw the standing ovation. See how they tried to rewrite history before our very eyes? We all saw the standing ovation. The fact that they try to change history before our very eyes in front of us is 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 jaw dropping and it's amazing. It just tells you how propagandas and smear campaigns work. But what are the forums before? What are the forums discussing about this issue? So, why am I talking about forums here? I have discovered that before the media brings any story up to social media, to Twitter, to their websites, to post it, publish it for the public, they go and do tests and discussions and they mine the information that they discuss in the media from the forums like Reddit, Quora, and all the other forums that exist online. Before I go into what the forums are talking about, let me look at your comments here. Uh, Boney Mighty says Harry can take some of those people out. Yes, he can, but he needs to be careful about the way he does it. He can't just willy nilly and carelessly take people out, you know? If he could, I think it's been how many years now since they left the UK? He would have done that already. Are the majority of Invictus Foundation members from the UK? All of them are. I don't even know whether there's any person in on the foundation governing body who is not from the UK. Rosita says if they remove Harry as patron, Invictus will fail and die as the service members would refuse to participate. That's exactly what they want. They don't care about the service members. Gwen Daniel says if they're crazy enough to do that, that would be the end of the Invictus Games. That's exactly what they want. No, Harry would never want that, right? Harry is the founder of Invictus Games. The royal family cannot touch it. I hope Meghan does not go. The UK media is going to turn the games into a clown show. The royal family can touch the Invictus Games. They might not do it directly, but there are certain pressures that they can put on the Invictus Games to ensure that they take the Invictus Games from Harry. If Harry doesn't put certain measures in place to ensure that he protects himself from royal family manipulation, okay? I'm begging you guys with all that I have. Let's not bury our head in the sand about what the royal family can do. Let us rather overestimate their power and work to neutralize that overestimated power. Hmm. It is my understanding that he said he was staying out of the decision. I heard that. This is devastating because I don't trust them. That's okay. I completely understand. As I have listened to that here, I am also devastated. But I think because I expose myself to the negative news every day, maybe my shock absorbers are a bit more than yours, but um this is what he said and on paper, but don't you think that there would have been a lot of arguments about this? Is it not also interesting that just before the announcement of Invictus Games coming to Birmingham has come out, then we hear that the CEO has resigned? What do you think? Linear says, would the foundation hire from another Invictus country to replace UK members? Of course, they can hire anyone. They can hire absolutely anyone. I think it's just a case that Harry has not had the time to effectively remove all the non loyal Invictus Foundation governing body members from the governing body. Yep, I think that's what's happening. Okay, guys, this is what they're talking about in the forums. Look at it. So they're talking about the initial story. They said, look at the beginning of the post. Let the decline and fall begin. Okay. Uh, both sides are make this sound amicable, but with all the backlash, I don't blame Dominic for getting out while he can. Harold is going down. Prince Harry is immensely grateful. This is the story that this person was leaving their comments about on Reddit. And this is what another person said. So they chose a segment of the story. That is what you see up here. Basically, all I have told you earlier. But this is their comment at the bottom. Sounds like a warm relationship and a positive farewell. I didn't read it. It's early, so maybe I missed it. Where is Mr. Reed headed to? Or is he retiring? And I thought to myself, that's true. Usually when somebody is resigning for a job and it's amicable, they would either tell you it's because I am ill, I am moving to another job, or I am retiring. In this case, there is nothing, which indicates that it was a sudden decision, sort of. Okay. Another person commented and said, it sounds warm and positive from both sides, except he's leaving the position without anyone stepping into the role, not even an interim CEO. Seems odd. He wouldn't have agreed to stay on until they find someone new. Well, they don't know that. You just haven't given the media all the details, and there's no reason why they have to give the media all the details. This person says, strange that there's no mention of what he's leaving to do. Instead, we usually get a BS statement about new, exciting opportunity or challenge the person is exiting for, but here nothing. People leave jobs for many reasons, both professional and personal, so it doesn't have to be scandalous about the timing, and the statement is interesting. Basically, I want to get to this person's comment. It's a bit long, but bear with. So they said, my feeling is Dominic Reed is very unhappy. They said, let me summarize it so I don't have to read the entire thing. It says, my feeling is that Dominic Reed was unhappy about the involvement of Meghan, which I don't think is true at all. I think it has nothing to do with Meghan. And they said that Dominic Reed set up the Invictus. It is leadership that has made it work. He wanted a winter version and he successfully set it up. This winter version will go ahead in February, just a few months away. Okay? Now, they are doing something like this for the first time. You would think that he would be there to see this new version of the Invictus game set up properly before he leaves. But he's leaving before the winter version of the Invictus games, which is going, he's not leaving immediately, but he's leaving before the February 2025 games. Okay? So, um, basically, you can see where they're going with all of this. Just like we wonder about the royal family, so also do they take the time to wonder about Harry and Meghan's projects. And what do I think about this? I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. You guys tell me what you think in the comment section about all of this. This backstory to Dominic Reed's resignation. Also, tell me what you think that this looks like overall for Harry and Meghan. So, guys, you know, this what I am looking at is what we can do to show up Harry and Meghan to make sure that their assets are protected. It's not really our job per se to do and go that far, but if there are things that we can do online which help change the narrative, which is part of the reason why I joined the Sussex Squad in the first place, not just to talk about them or talk about Sussex news ad nauseum, then we should get to it just the same way we are thinking about fighting for Kamala Harris. I'm not American and I will do anything and everything that I can do online to support Kamala Harris online. Whatever I can share, whatever I can tweet, whatever ever I can do, I will do. And if we say that we are supporters of Harry and Meghan who get into activism, please let's go beyond just talking about it online. Uh, let's get back to doing something because these people are making inroads and the assets and of Harry and Meghan are not as secure as we would like to think that they are. Why? Because we adopted a strategy which is no longer working. Now we need to re-strategize. The strategy being updated, used by the squad was first of all to at least congratulate ourselves for getting Harry and Meghan out of the UK, and then also making sure that we supported their initial projects. We still continue to support their projects, and Harry and Meghan have suffered from several attempts at sabotaging their projects. We have seen it happen. Who are doing it? We know who is behind it all. But over time, we have now decided, I think because we found out that I think we were getting burnt out and tired and exhausted from the battle, which is considerable, which is easy to understand because it's been 8 years. But when we ignore their stories and we don't battle them as much, what it has done is that it has given room for their stories to gain more ground while we have gotten a lot more quieter, which has impacted on what Harry and Meghan are doing. You might not see it as much because you're not in the UK. I understand your supreme confidence in what they're able to achieve in America. But what I would tell you is that a lot of the people who own the real money that Harry and Meghan need to do their work are also British or are connected to Britain in some way and connected to the royal family in some way or connected to some royal family in some way. I know that it's not just the royal family who've got the money. I'm not saying that at all. But the 1% of the 1% is the stratosphere in which Harry and Meghan operate. They've got influence and connections there. They've got influence and connections there. So please, if there's anything that I would love to see, it would be for the Sussex squad to kind of come to the understanding and realization of the size of the actual size of the threat Harry and Meghan are facing, because I think we are not facing it properly. We're not looking about at the effects that these constant attacks have been having on their mental health. Just because they come out smiling every time they're out in public doesn't mean it's not affecting them. Actually, the fact that they go into hibernation every time that they do something and they're not able to move about as they would is an indication of how much they are feeling the pressure from being under constant attack. Guys, in this age that we're in now, especially in light of what happened yesterday, there is every likelihood that Trump could become the next president. What do you think life is going to be like for Harry and Meghan under a Trump presidency? I'm sure nobody wants that to happen. So, what I would say is, what I would say is, we all recognize that the attacks against Harry and Meghan are mainly coming from these two plus one, who is not in this picture actually. Let's not get distracted by Kate's cancer or what the rest of the royal family are doing. If I could beg, beg you to redirect your efforts. As I said, and I've spoken to a lot of people in the squad, I have spoken to a PR expert and outlined all the strategies that could be undertaken by somebody who is under a smear campaign. And when the person listed everything that can be done, I saw that Harry and Meghan's entire strategy online is their fight against the smear campaign. Let's not be remiss of their limitation. It's just two people with limited resources, although more than what the average person is able to acquire. But let's not forget that their expenses are quite a lot, especially for security. I know the task is intimidating when I mention filing a petition at the United Nations. It's a million step challenge. But if there's nothing else that I'm able to achieve, it is being able to tell you guys the task is a bit bigger than you're looking at. Denying the threat, denying the task, denying the challenge is not going to solve the problem. Uh So I am happy to take on this challenge of filing the petition at the United Nations, but I need you guys' support. And what I would need from you guys, help me, please build up the subscribers to 10K subscribers. If I'm going to liaise with other influential content creators to bring more awareness who are not necessarily in the same niche as myself, being a supporter of Harry and Meghan, they need to look back and see that I do have the support of my community. Where is the support? I am looking for you guys with a magnifying glass, a torchlight. I can't see you guys behind me. Well, I understand because we just started talking about this and I'm yet to prove myself in any way, shape, or form. I will say something about that towards the end of this. But the other thing I need is 1,000 channel members at least. Join the channel. All these things that I'm thinking about doing on behalf of Harry and Meghan is going to take money. If I don't have the money, then it's just a case of coming online to discuss and clap hands with you as we continue to do every day, but it does not change anything. Clapping hands does not change anything. If you haven't joined the membership of this channel and you're able to do so, please do. I promise I will not let you guys down in any way. I also will need influence on Instagram because I intend to create a content creation engine which is going to push out a lot more positive content. And I'm going to need to subscribe to some platforms which will need to be paid for. Um, and to do that, we're going to need the followers on Instagram who would also help to share and to disseminate this information. So if you are on Instagram and you haven't followed me already, please do. Thank you, Linnea. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for you being able to follow me already. Um, so guys, let me see what this is. Okay, so just look at Karen's comment. Karen says, I recall they had to bring someone on to handle the winter games. Dominic was taken from retirement to handle the Invictus, so he may be going back to retirement. Okay. I would prefer it if that was the case and there wasn't any influence being applied against the Invictus Games. But then we have the Invictus Games coming to Birmingham now. So, so I don't know. Hi, Gwen. Gwen, good night. Good night. See you tomorrow. Messia, thank you. You says your critique makes sense about the underhand intention to still cause the failure of the Invictus Games to destroy the Sussexes. Yes, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Thank you very much for seeing with me. I'm begging you guys, please don't think that I'm trying to be overbearing with this. I am seeing it. I feel like I am the lone voice in the wilderness. I'm screaming to everyone, see, can you see what's happening? Can you see what's happening? But everybody is saying to me, no, no, no. What you're seeing is not what is actually happening. Okay. Anyway, apart from all of this, I have a shocking request to make. Okay. If you have, I think we are at the point, in light of everything that I've talked about today, if you have a smaller YouTube channel and it is a Sussex friendly YouTube channel and you want to make a difference, please reach out to me so that we can partner. Because one of the strategies I intend to employ is to create even more content. The Sussex hating channels, they create at least 15 videos a day. We're not thinking about 15 immediately, so don't get intimidated or overwhelmed. But the intention is to increase the volume of content. From what I can see, in order for me to create the content that I create at the quality I do create it, the maximum amount of videos I can create a week is 4. It takes a lot of time to do the research and putting the videos together. So, if you've got a smaller YouTube channel, what we can do is partner. Bring your content over to my channel. Let's increase the volume. Let's build this channel up till we get to like 10,000. From that 10,000, we can then now create a bring the support back to your channel, or we can just continue the partnership from there on. Just having one channel that creates a small amount of content doesn't make the necessary impact that we need to make to the situation. Neither. Some force is tinkering with your channel. Every time I check in your channel, I am unsubscribed. I keep subscribing, keep reminding everyone to check if they are still subscribed. Oh my God, I have noticed that. I thought it was something else happening. I noticed that every time after I have done a live stream or have done a video, I gain at least 10 to 15 new subscribers. By the next morning, when I wake up, like 10 of those new subscribers have been unsubscribed. Yes, there's certainly something happening with my channel. I have noticed that already. Thank you for bringing it up because it is true. I have noticed that. Anyway, so guys, this is what I am talking about. If you are interested in collaborating in that way, please get in touch. Let's move this mission forward. Anyway, to wrap up, um, while Dominic's resignation is significant, it is very possible that he has stepped back for um, he's stepping back is planned and is positive for the Invictus Games, but at the same time, it has the hallmarks of pressure and manipulation all over it. In light of what we're looking to do, I would say there's a lot going on behind the scenes, is all I would say in this open space. We cannot, the media's role cannot, the media and the royal family's role in what is happening cannot be underestimated. But let's have faith in our own strengths as a tribe who can use their voice to make a difference. Okay. Okay. Uh, the plan wasn't to stay as long as I have, so I will end this video here. Please, if you haven't already done so, this news we have received about Invictus Games coming to Birmingham in 2027 is an indication, a symptom of what I am concerned about. It's part of the reason why I find it necessary for us to put in that UN petition. It will be great. It will be great if we can achieve this. But to do it, I need your very, very, very understanding support. Again, for those who have not already joined the channel, that's okay. If you can't join the channel, that's fine. Not everybody can afford to do it. Don't feel bad about it. Just do what you can. Share the video, like, comment. If you're able to join me on Instagram, please go ahead to do so. Wherever you see any of my platforms on social media, please go ahead to join. I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Spoutable. Wherever, please get up and do something. This is no longer the time for you to say, I don't have an Instagram or I don't have a Twitter. Pick one or two or three. The age that we're in right now, on every sphere, we're almost in a battle to retain some form of life and decency. Okay. We're the same thing with what is happening in America as you fight for your democracy. You can no longer be complacent and just say, I'm not going to do anything until the day of polling. Get up. Those young ones who are old enough, get hold of them and drag them to the polls. Don't bother arguing with people who have already made their minds up. Just drag those people to the polls, and that's where you can make a difference. I almost feel that we're in the age where you remember the protests when Martin Luther King and the civil rights movements were really hot in America, and protests where people were fighting for their rights were going on. It just feels like this is that same energy is back, and we have to fight for our lives once again. Donna Thomas says Washington didn't stand a chance with all the British men on the board. Yes, this is, oh my God, this is what I am trying to say to you guys. Until Harry and Meghan are in a place financially and politically and influence wise, it's going to be an uphill struggle. Uh, the Invictus Games announcement was supposed to be in May. I think because it's a Labour government in power in the UK is why Birmingham won. Mm. I don't know. To me, I don't even think. Well, I know that the Labour government are definitely going to be more pro Harry and Meghan. Uh, the royal family are going to be a lot more limited in what they can achieve. Or you can already see it. The Labour government are making the royal family account for the crown estate purse. Okay, so you can already see that they are limiting the privileges that they have enjoyed before now. But there's also a limit to how far they're going to be able to protect Harry and Meghan. And still, remember, it's not just one person who rules the government, it's not a totalitarian state. The prime minister is going to have to retain the loyalty and support of his party members. So, whatever he's doing, he has to do it very, very, very strategically. And it's very difficult to do something strategically when you have to get the participation and consent of other people in your party. If it was a company where you can give an instruction like do this and people just do it, that would be different. But for them to be able to do that, then Harry has to be also doing something to their benefit, which would make it worth their while to risk their political capital in his favor. Valerie says, "Okay, I saw your comment before, but I jumped it because I don't want to participate in this discussion, but I will highlight the comment so that I can say what I need to say to you. Let's pray that Megan, Archie, and Lily will not attend that event, that Megan will not subject herself and the children to the slanderous abuse that the British media will surely heap upon her." Okay, so Valerie, as I have been saying, it's very unlikely that Harry will be coming to the UK to do the Invictus Games and Meghan will not be here to support him. I don't want that. I'm not advocating for the royal family. Please understand me. I am in the UK though, and I can see what is possible. I really don't want them to bring Archie and Lily to the UK, and I think that they wouldn't have to. But I think it's very likely that Meghan will come to the UK just because she wouldn't like to leave Harry on. It would look worse for her if she doesn't come to support Harry. You guys remember one time that they were trying to a get someone in the UK for their PR. Maybe that's what that is about. I'm not saying that that's what it was, but I'm saying that maybe that's what it was all about. Maybe they always knew that there was a possibility that the Invictus Games could come to the UK. I've always told you guys that there is no possibility of Harry being able to ignore the UK because Harry is a blood prince. Meghan, by virtue of that, is the wife of a blood prince. She can ignore the UK only to a limited extent. And she can ignore the UK to a limited extent, but there are some things she is going to have to participate in as the wife of a blood prince. Uh, Remember, Harry gave John Mercer some security information that I think was used to push the UK bid. Yes, absolutely. Jeanette says Meghan has always supported with the Invictus Games. Yes, absolutely. So, guys, this is why you have me here. It's a different perspective. It's the British perspective. If you're seeing things only, I will repeat again, and it is no disrespect to you guys at all whatsoever. I am just trying my best to help here by presenting you with the entire picture. Okay. So, mm, Beverly says, I think she will be their last 3 to 4 days, and no, they would not have the children there. The children will be with them in Canada. That's very possible. That's very possible. That's very, very possible. But I think we should stop with the Megan coming in, not coming out. At this point in time, it's not going to help us to diminish the power and influence of the royal family. Look at it, assess it, the reality of it, and then tackle it likewise. If she's going to be here, what are the security arrangements that could be made to protect her while she is here? Notifying the American embassy, and the Secret Service, the MI5, all the alphabets. What it is that can be done? What can we do to work against the negative headlines? What can we just running away from them is not working. There is a saying where I come from that when you pursue a goat to a certain point, the goat is going to turn around and start chasing you. And then you're going to be the one running. At a certain point, Harry and Meghan will have to tackle the UK. It would be different if Harry was an ordinary citizen, but he's not. He is a blood prince. He is written into the UK constitution. He cannot do things in the way that you assume that he should. The way a regular, maybe individual in America should do. Harry can't do none of that. He has to be extremely careful in how he deals with the royal family, because if he didn't know 100% what they were capable of when he was thinking about leaving, by now he does know. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Donna says security for the Birmingham event will be tight. I will be surprised if some of the Royal Rota rats are banned. I'm sure. I'm sure they will be banned. I'm sure a lot of them will be banned. I'm sure that there has been a lot of negotiation to make sure that some of the things that will make Harry comfortable would have been agreed for Birmingham to get the vote. But whether the agreement will be enforced is another thing entirely. So, uh, yeah, it's going to be a rough one on the squad. But if we get ourselves ready, we can definitely um, do a lot. I would definitely love to be there on ground, making sure that I'm reporting and bringing a steady stream of information to people on the squad. That would be a dream come true for me. And being able to create a content engine machine that floods the media waves with positive Harry and Meghan news would be the second one. Being able to tackle the media houses each time they write something which is not untrue, writing letters, reporting them to Ipso, while we're taking those steps towards the United Nations petition. Honestly, it would be a dream come true. Guys, we need to join our hands together to make this happen. And if you need to take breaks while we're working towards this, please go ahead to do so, because it's going to be a long road. I'll just read these two last comments before we go, and I am going to go off. So, Beverly says the foundation has probably spoken to different security organizations to have a feeling of how they can be properly protected. Yep. Jeanette says Harry also said he wanted his children to be able to see his home. I think the kids will go this time. Harry and Meghan will figure out something ingenious as usual. Yeah, it is entirely possible. Lorna says Prince Harry is still a Councillor of State. King Charles is still his commander in chief. Three, he's still in the line of succession. Four, as a UK citizen, he's subject to the king. For the UK citizens on the live stream with me, you do know that although we are free citizens, we are all subject to the king. So, not to talk about somebody who is in the royal family who has actually got had to live his life practically as a subject of the king, because the rest of us we live our lives in theory as subjects to the king. And there's so many things. So yeah, Kathy Gabby says it's 3 years away. Let's hope for the best, security wise and media wise. No, let's get ready. I would prefer to say. I understand what you said. Let's get ready. I am way past that. It's just like saying to me, if you're an American, that let's hope for the best that Camilla will get elected. No, no, no. Let's get up and do something. This is my cry. If we need to take a break and rest in between, take the break, rest, and jump back in. It would be an it would be amazing to be able to see that Harry and Meghan are able to live their lives to full potential because they are bringing something unique and amazing into the world. King Charles wants the popularity the game will bring. Do you know? I don't even think he wants the popularity. He just wants Invictus Games dead. That's it. He just wants Invictus Games dead because he knows that. Think about the best thing that Harry and Meghan have that takes them to different countries, that makes people know who Harry and Meghan are more than they are, that increases Harry and Meghan's popularity more. It's the Invictus Games. And when they go to these countries, they're not just talking to the ordinary citizens, they're talking to the military people, they're talking to the 1% of the 1% of the country, the wealthy people and the movers and shakers of industry in this country. I know that from being British, but I'm also Nigerian. So I can tell you that when Harry and Meghan went to Nigeria, they literally spoke to the 1% of Nigeria's 1% of the wealthy people. I imagine that they came back with a lot of potential deals that they could get involved with. This is what the royal family don't want. The main defense that they have against the propaganda, against the royal family trying to do them in, is the Invictus Games. And that's why they're trying so hard to take the Invictus Games away from them. Imagine if Harry and Meghan were able to continue with taking the Invictus Games to different countries. So they visited Nigeria and they go to the other Commonwealth countries. If they're able to visit 2 to 3 Commonwealth countries a year within a short time, they would have covered them all. They would have covered them all. So that by the time William becomes king, they become untouchable. They become untouchable. This is, this is for me the goal. They need to become stronger. Being in America alone is not enough. Princess Diana wasn't in the UK when her own unfortunate incident happened. And her boyfriend, Alfayed Dodi, he was very rich. He was very rich, but look what happened. So it's not just all about the wealth, it's also about the power, the influence, and how they choose to move to remove themselves from the orbit of the royal family. Lorna says, we are not hoping. We need all squaddies, especially UK squaddies, to volunteer for the games. If we see something, say something at the games. Absolutely. Yep. Sorry, I missed your comment, Beverly. The children will be 8 and 6 years old. I think Harry and Meghan would have spoken to them about why they aren't living here, but not to scare them, just to have a little understanding. It looks like you are replying to someone. Maybe I don't know who you're replying to, but Adeline Robinson says Harry is smart. If Invictus Games is universal, why would he not make sure that it is a diverse organization? Is it not diverse? What do you mean? What do you mean? And in case, I think they have Natural for although Natural is not working with the Invictus Foundation, but Natural is not a white man. And if you're talking about the people on the governing body of the Invictus Games Foundation, though I think those were the people that were there when he started the Invictus Games Foundation in 2014. So I'm not sure what else he was supposed to do, because typically UK is not like America in that wise, in the sense that uh, you do not find the you don't find that many people of color in the inner sanctum or socializing with the white people here in the UK. Not like America in that way. It's totally different. It's almost uh, it's this is not spoken about per se, and is not as strict as that. Of course, there are gray areas, but to a large degree, there is not that much interaction. Are you a Harry and Meghan supporter? Why is that the thing that you decided to focus on? We're talking about the preservation of the Invictus Games. Perhaps Harry and Meghan have not been able to make the changes that they wanted to make to the Invictus Games. And you can see it because it's been how many years now? And look at the people they have on the governing body and look at what is happening now. So Yalibi says M and H are adults. At the end of it, they're the ones who are living their turmoils. We need to trust them and respect their decisions. Let's support them without deciding for them. Eps, that's it. That's it. That's it. Okay, guys, thank you. I didn't plan to stay this long, but it's always so much fun talking to you guys. So may I have stayed on longer than I intended to do so. So let me leave you now. I hope that with these few points of mine, I have been able to persuade you and not confuse you even further. Uh, this is Wheezy signing out. Until the next time. Ciao. I think the next time I'm going to be on would be Wednesday, and it's going to be a discussion about how come the royal family have as much power as they do over the government in the UK. Right. So it will give us an understanding, and we will also help us to understand why the British taxpayer is happy to pay the royal family that vast amount of money they pay. Is it 300 million every year? We will understand it when we discuss that on Wednesday. So that's all I have for this evening. Thank you, everyone. And as Cookies and Cream says, everyone, please stay safe, pray, don't peg, and always hydrate. Take care, everyone. Bye.